Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XII with me, Get Daved. Oh, we're back here again. Alright. Let's harvest some fruit. Hey, mission accomplished. Also, it comes to my attention, since Vaughn's not leading the group anymore, he's got a round shield, which is technically better than the shield Bosch has, but Bosch also has double the hit points, so we'll let him take the extra 4% to his evade, or whatever it is. Oh. To be fair, that guy was coming right for me. Again with the pebbles. It better be the nicest pebble you've ever seen. That's all I have to say. They're probably gonna sell for like 800 a pop. Got the B team out just for a little bit of variety. Wow. I went to town on Vaughn there. Alright, we're about to enter uncharted territory now. You can see the desert being a little bit less, well, desert-like. Getting some vegetation. It's downright semi-arid. Also, quick check here. Alright. I can get behind this gear. Hello. I ignored this. It's very good. We'll just give him the better armor to offset the loss of defense points. Now we're good. Boy, I wish I'd realized what I picked up before. That was Pinello? I didn't see the spinorama, so... I forget if I mentioned this or not. I think I did. One of the most damaging things I heard about game design was actually about this game. It was someone complaining about the labyrinthine layouts. Back when I used to hang out on Final Fantasy Online. Forum's kind of dead now. Series is kind of dead now. All the good games are from the past. It's a bad sign. Hey, Pinello, can I borrow you for a sec? But anyway... One guy was basically, and I don't mean this in a super mean way, when I say it was a damaging thing I heard about game design. I was not wronged in a serious way. But it still was kind of an inception thing where an idea got planted in my mind. It still remains there, and I've kind of so... Oh, it's a bomb. Okay. It's a way of assuming, basically. Let's be cautious here. Not what I meant to do. Nope. Oh, we're in very serious danger. Yep. He oiled me up, now he's setting me on fire. Ready's lunge. Okay. Try it. Anyway, one person was sort of criticizing, oh, I don't like when you know, we have basically the fanfare over leveling up. You know, it's like, that doesn't happen in real life, therefore it's a bad thing. which I don't really agree with. The hyper immersion crowd, of which I am absolutely not a part. They sometimes get upset about that. The sort of people who say like, "Oh, you should always play with the UI off," which I do sometimes. But sometimes I leave a massive map overlay on everywhere I go. Anyway, that was one of the criticisms, and then another one was just layouts that don't make sense. Like, you know, one of the, like if you're in a castle and, like any layout in this game basically, they're all labyrinthine, they're all kind of repetitive, it's a little grindy, but they're offsetting because there's no entering or exiting battle mode. Like there's a continuity to everything. Anyway, just the idea that every layout needed to make sense, and that got me, that like planted the seeds of all these ideas of like, alright, make sure there's bathrooms in every house, make sure there's beds, make sure there's kitchens, make sure, like... And it wasn't until Celeste came out that I was actually... that I sort of identified that. Because I remember playing the game and it's like, yeah, Madeline can dash. Why? Who cares? She just can. These are the rules of the universe. They don't even need to explain. That's just how it works. Can Theo dash? I don't know. Why does the city on the way to the mountain look like this? Why? It's like, it doesn't matter. Another thing is like, every movie with time travel in it, for example. Now, regardless how you feel about them time travel movies, everyone has to explain it because there's always some guy in the audience who's like, oh, well, technically, this shouldn't have happened. Like people who latch onto Chrono Trigger and will say like, well, by the rules of time travelers' immunity, the paradox they introduce with Marl at the beginning, where she ceases to exist because of what happened, the Back to the Future plot device, that shouldn't happen. It's like, people like that come along anytime there's a time travel movie, and then, even if it's like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and they're in a time traveling phone booth. Balance is a weird spell, by the way. You know, and then you just, every movie's got to have like, you know, the scene from Looper where they're like, yo, don't worry about time travel, don't worry about how it works, this is what's important. Avengers did it. Just, everyone, sit back and operate on the assumption that it could explain itself. Just give a little benefit of the doubt and enjoy the ride. I think it's okay to criticize things, but your criticisms need to be, like, semi-charitable. Like, a movie doesn't have to explain everything. A game doesn't have to tell you, spell it all out. If a game has a really labyrinthine layout, just, it's fine. The only thing, or maybe not the only thing, but the most important thing is that it's just a good level design. I think it's fair to criticize FF12 for that. It's like, this is maybe a bit much. Because, you know, like, we can see here there's a lot of copy past it, but I mean, with double time, it's alright. If this were all in single time, though, I'd be singing a different tune. Because there's, like... time for more scalding hot takes from Dave. So I don't think Ocarina of Time is very good, and I've always felt that way. And people always talked about how big the world was, but like Hyrule Field, there's a lot of empty space. They just sort of increase the distance between things. And that's it. So it takes a really long time to get anywhere. It's big in that sense, but it's big and empty. And for the record, I don't really feel that way about Wind Waker. A lot of people complained about it in Wind Waker, but I don't actually think... I don't know, there's more to do. Like, Breath of the Wild kinda... It has vast open spaces as well. Probably bigger than Ocarina of Time, actually. But... with item collection and everything, there's either something for you to look at, or something for you to think about picking up, or... And even if it's terrible... There's enough stuff that's legitimately good that even if you're walking a really far distance, you're either rationing your stamina, or keeping your eye out for interesting things. And even if it's not an item on the ground, it's like, oh, there's some grass. Maybe I'll cut it because I need, I need to find some fireflies. That's all good stuff. Alright, let's go this way. Then we'll double back and check out the southern path. Anyway, there's lots of good ways to do games. They don't all have to be hyper-realistic. And they all don't have to have an apologetic segment at the beginning. Youch. Yeah, Bowser's slightly lower defense is definitely noticeable. Alright. I guess that's kind of everything we needed to do here. Maybe there's a treasure in this or something, but... Wait, oh no. Oh no. Dave's soapbox so long he got lost. Oh hey, it's a Yensa, the desert's namesake. Also, like it sounded like a gong being dropped in like a giant concrete room as it falls on the sand. That said, so I've just ranted about how like everyone needs to relax and just enjoy things. Things like internal consistency are still really important. It's a funny thing the other day. It was Game of Thrones related. They were interviewing Casson, the guy who plays, I think his name's Sam. I don't actually watch the show consistently. It's over now. But I follow it consistently. Anyway. He's a round fellow. Very jolly looking. And so one of the questions he got asked was like, yo, he's always hiking around and everything. Why isn't he getting jacked? You know, he should look slim and have legs like tree trunks. And the guy's response was like, there's a show with dragons and magic and reanimated dead, and that's what you're finding a hard time believing. But like in fantasy, some things work just like the real world, and some things don't. It's like if the dragons, for example, like, they can fly. I'm not sure how. They look very heavy, but they fly and they breathe fire. Okay, that's fine. If all of a sudden they say, oh, and this one, also prints money, that would be weird. It's like, it's easy to believe in dragons. A character who knows something they shouldn't know, there's no way to forgive that, because I know how finding things out works. Person who never gets in shape, like, you know, I still think that's a nitpick being like, I guess he ate a lot. It's genetic, whatever, there's a lot of explanations, but the fact is, I know what happens to people when they exercise a lot. So it is like a, I don't know, you can't dismiss it on the grounds of, well, we got dragons, so you can't complain about that. Sure you can. Because something's not acting consistent with normal reality. Something's not following the normal rules. Uh-oh. It's a tarp! There we go. Well, it was worth it for the 38 gil. These caverns gonna lead anywhere? Getting a little twitchy for... Oh! Alright, peace out. I imagine if we come back later, those will be traversable, and it'll lead somewhere full of awful monsters. I do actually remember flagging this place and then coming back way later. And now, actually, after all that exploration, it appears to be a straight line of progress forward. And not that far away. Man, Vossler's on level 23. No big deal. I wonder if Vaughn can cast it. Nope. Bosch is noticeably slower than Balthier. Also, it's interesting you can see the drop-off in power from Vaughn's magic as well. On that note... Sure, could lead to a big heal. Sure. Oh, sure. Alright. I think he's going to be a little bit more effective now. It'll be interesting to see if we get a giant leap forward for mankind. I'm not super anxious to get Soul Eater. That is going to be more useful for us. Changing one allies to team. Well, okay. And we did pick up that skill. grab shields 3 just to have it. This leads to more battle lures, so grab more things we're going to want anyway. Yeah, Bosch hasn't had a ton of that. Now we'll start picking it up a bit more. The Excalibur. Genji gloves are super good. I will elaborate more on them some other time. Well, fine. They increase your combo rate. Yeah, 600. There we go. So I forget what stat they boost it by. But like, you know, Fran has a 20% combo rate with poles. And that's pretty good, and it's pretty awesome when you get a good combo going. Well, with Genji gloves, you can increase that by like another 40%. And that's pretty great. Just allows for ridiculous stacking up of damage. I'd argue, yeah, I think it's pretty much the best accessory in the game by a landslide, but I don't know, there might be some obscure alternative approaches that can be made. You never know if there's a really weird gambit combination to be used with something. There's more of that in FF12 than probably in other Final Fantasy, but it's still normal for there to be a couple things. Like in Final Fantasy VII, for example, the Power Soul is probably the best weapon in the game. Better than all the ultimate weapons. Power Soul does more damage as, like, it increases a multiplier the more bad things are going on. So if a party member is dead, Tifa will start doing, you know, I think triple damage if someone has death sentence. If she has death sentence, it'll add another, like, 2x on top of that. And you can combine it with the Amulet Ring, I think it's called. I don't know, the one you get in the deal, which puts status ailments on her automatically. So put something to guard against the worst of them, but allow Doom to sneak through. And she becomes ridiculously powerful, and you can ride that through the rest of the game. Even weapons with like triple the attack power. By the way, that exact approach would not work in this game, because you can be on level 99, and if you were fighting, like, Vossler could be on level 99, and those enemies he was doing almost no damage against, he would still be doing almost no damage against. Because it all stems from your weapon's attack power minus the enemy's defense. A lot of enemies have a defense value of around 30 or greater. There's actually, that's something I always, there's lots of game development or game design musings in this one. Something I think about a lot, like in a lot of Final Fantasy games, in this one, in Final Fantasy 1, in 9, they take your attack power, and then whoever you're attacking, they subtract their defense, and then multipliers factoring in strength and level and all that get tacked on. But it's fundamentally all stems from, you know, if your sword has an attack power of 20 and they have a defense of 10, then you've got 10 as your base difference to work with. I don't really like that because it means having bad equipment or going against enemies that are maybe out, like sneaking against enemies that are, you know, a couple levels ahead or a couple areas ahead. It's not very plausible. what Final Fantasy VI and Chrono Trigger, and I think 7 does a variant of it as well. It's a system I also don't like, where you use percentage damage reduction, basically. So you add up your equipment's defense values. Wow, we're getting swarmed by these guys. Nothing to steal. I have no idea what that is. Enchanter's Jabella? A hat? An accessory? An outfit? That's really good. Sorry, she needed it more. And is gonna get subbed in very soon. That's pretty cool. Okay, we fought a wyvern already. They weren't too bad. I think I'm not reaching him with Bosch because we don't have long reach. Balthier would be much more effective. However, I am going to watch Bosch slide him instead. A Sirius, I think that's a gun. Yeesh. They have their own damage formula, though. They ignore stuff. Anyway, the problem with percentage damage reduction is, especially in the early game, stuff is too weak, and then later on stuff is too good. So, like, let's say you're fighting enemies that do 50 damage to you, and it's the beginning of the game. You have a defense value of 50, and normally they do a percentage in hexadecimal, so it's relative to 256 instead of 100, but I'll still call it percentage because it's the same idea. So if your damage is, or if your armor is probably the same thing, yeah. So you're taking 50 damage, which is going to be like the undefended amount. You can have 50 defense with the 1 equipment. Alright, that's about 20% of 255, so you're going to take 40 damage. You go to the next town, you upgrade your defense to 60. Well, it's still very close to 20% damage reduction, so you're going to take, like, your 50 is going to go to, instead of going to 40, it's going to go to 38. You know, this is a new town, and it's going to scale no matter who hits you, so if you're taking 100, it's reducing it by 22% instead of 20%. That just doesn't matter. And then when you get to high levels, when you go from like a defense value of, let's go to the extreme, 250 to 253. Well, you're actually almost invincible now. Before you were having, you know, 98% damage absorption. Now by just upping it 3 points, you go to 99. I'm doing envelope math, but you get the idea, right? Like, that 3 points there means a lot more than 10 points did at the low end. That's no good. I think Final Fantasy III, I don't know if they did this exactly, but its damage equation has a lot of ratios in it, which I like the idea. So you have, instead of getting like your base damage, sorry everyone, I'm really into game math. If you have, like in all these examples I was giving, some sort of relationship between your attack value and your defense value is like your seed for how much damage you're going to do. In FF3, part of the damage equation is based on ratios, so it has a couple cool intuitive properties. Hey, yeah! Yeah, you got it, man. Ooh, real weapons. Two bowguns. No need for a Vega when you have a Sirius. Oh yeah, let's clean out the loot. Okay, sorry I was ranting. Oh my goodness. $2 each. Anyway, it creates an interesting thing where if you get a weapon with double the attack power, you will be doing double damage, period. If you somehow double your defense, you will be taking half damage, period. Those are constants that you know. I think that's one good solution. Because it's like kind of intuitive too, right? Do I want to keep these? I'm just going to sell them. Alright, what do we got? I could afford it. Fine. Interesting. We can shoot status elements now. It's worth thinking about. Yes, please. The chopper. Be sure to get to it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, sign me up. I probably shouldn't have bought or purchased two, but I got a little carried away. And the Chanter's Jabroni. I think we can leave it at this. Interesting, only for some characters do we get new weapons. Oh man, I wish I had someone who could use daggers. Anyway, in that ratio system, because that only gets you like a little bit of a difference, you need something else to be your primary strength calculator. FF Tactics also just had no damage reduction and armor gave you hit points. I think that's a good solution too. I think the best case scenario is some sort of combo or use Dragon Quest-like damage differential, which is a bit more moderated than we've seen in the examples I gave, and then you combine that with the ratio system. Good talks! Because you want some things to be obvious, right? Like, it should be kind of transparent that, like, getting stronger makes you do more damage in a semi-transparent way. Can we get a license for Bosch's new sword? Cool. Alright, we got the A-team out again. Now, I might regret the fact that I've been ignoring all of these. I don't want to give too much away, but where we're going, it might be really helpful to have them. That is all I will say. Alright, there's some magic lore over there. I imagine some over here as well. Yeah. This is what we are all about for a good long time. Alright, War Mage won't come up super regularly for a while, but still, we're good. Again with the Soul Leader. Oh yeah, Vossler has access to Wither, I think. That's a potential approach we could take with Stupid Turtle, as I call him. Alright. And finally, Penelo, what can we do? So let's slowly work our way towards more magic lures. Or wait, I think I was working on the bottom corner here. Oh, there's a couple interesting things. We won't be able to afford it by 1 license point. That's okay, we're never going to be at full HP anyway. Alright, and a good chunk of magic lore down this tree. I'll start working my way towards it. As a memory is a mnemonic device for me. So when I ignore it, I feel dumb. I think we are going to be all right. Good chunk of battle lore over here. Oh my goodness. That's all expensive though. Still, we're making good work on the license board. This is a good thing. Oh yeah, thanks for helping him. Alright, we desperately need a save point, game. Yes. Thank you so much. I'll see you all in the next episode.